We are live.
Hello.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Hi.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to Earth School Journey, where life is the curriculum and spirit and experience is the teacher. We are back with a new month. I'm your peer guide, Uni, and this is my co-host and fellow peer guide, Umi Steph. Hey, Umi.
Hey, Uni. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm tired. I will tell y'all. I went took a nap today and woke up. I didn't know what day it was, so I'm just so if I'm a little off, that's why.
It is all good. We all have our days and our weeks and our months, and some of us have years. And so I'm glad that you are getting the rest that you need and leaning into that. Taking a nap is beautiful. When I wake up from a nap, I'll be like, I needed that. And it's been a minute since I've taken one, to be honest with you. Excuse me. So
Mhm.
I'm happy that you were getting some rest and you're here. We're on time. You know what day it is now. Things are turned around. Um, but yeah, I'm so grateful to be here. Again, we are in a new month, May 2026. It's like time is flying by. It feels like it was just January. It feels like it was just December 31st. Like it feels like I can't believe that we're in May already. And it's
I
like
know.
damn near mid-May. Like it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're well into the first week of May. So, without any ado, we are here for our monthly homeroom check-in, where we set our intentions for the month, our affirmations, we share some journal prompts, we do a presence check-in, just related to the topic, which this month we're talking about material security and spirituality. We're going to talk about the transits this month as well. And, also give you some updates on what we got going on for this month. And, we're just so grateful to have you all here with us. Those of you that are live and those of you that will be watching the recording. Um, you know, Material security and spirituality is a very interesting subject. Like I remember just the other day, chatting with, my fellow peer guide, Umi Steph, and just thinking to myself, like, I mean, I know what material security is. Of course, I know what spirituality is. Um, I don't know that I've ever really conjoined the two. You know what I mean? Even though I have had teachers who have tried to teach it to me, who have attempted to show me what it is, show me their process and how they've gotten to material security with spirituality in conjunction with spirituality. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I told Umi, I said, out of all the topics that we have discussed, I think this is the one that I haven't really embodied to the degree that I would personally like to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I can speak about this with a deep level of like inner knowing, like I can some of the other topics that we've discussed. And so I think this month is going to be a lot about exploring this topic. It's going to be, even though we explore every month, don't get me wrong. I do feel like uh, the embodiment of what this truly means is a little foreign to me. Spiritual security is not this. Excuse me. Material security cannot be the source of our peace. I've thought that before. I think I've shared that here on the podcast, that I thought that having a job and having a good income with good benefits and so on and so forth would bring me peace, but it did not. In fact, I was actually out of alignment. You know what I mean? And so as I have kind of flip my life upside down by realizing that I was out of alignment, realizing that I didn't have that safety within myself, and so I didn't really have it with others. I realized that I'm still learning what this means to me. You know what I mean? I'm still exploring what this means on a deeper level, and I gotta be honest with you guys. The revelations have already started coming in, Umi. Like I'm telling you, it's I'm really like the onion is starting to peel back around this topic, and the blockages that I have, and where some of them are stemming from, and where I'm, not really leaning into, and why. And there's been a lot that's been coming up, so I'm actually really grateful for this topic, even though I feel just a little lost in it. I feel like the prayers that I have done, and I'm sure the prayers that you've done, Umi, around this topic are helping to open some doors and pathways and release some blockages around what this really means. What do you have on this topic this month? If you want to share like a brief, your understanding of it and where you are.
Yeah. Well, I love when there's a topic that we don't really feel like we're well versed in, and we end up doing a whole month on it, because I feel like we grow so much in that month. We grow so much,
Yeah.
The month on stillness for me like was really great, because I got to really root myself in stillness even deeper than I was before, and it was really good. And this month, I feel like I've graduated to a certain level when it comes to materiality, material things, and security, and my spirituality. I just feel like I haven't fully stepped into it. You know what I mean? Like I still feel at each level I'm trying to grasp, that at being able to have the resources to do the next level things that I need to do. Right. And so for me, there was a time, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, when I my biggest prayer was to just have a roof over my head, any roof, as long as it was stable and warm and safe. And you know what I mean? Like it was just, I wanted to have a roof over my head. I wanted to be able to, take care of myself and my daughter. And I mean, a family wasn't even in the picture. It wasn't even a part of any of that, a marriage or any of, yeah, they were desires, but my main like thing was I needed that material financial security because I didn't have it. And so I spent so much of the initial part of my spiritual journey trying to get material security, right? And then I got to a certain level and I've kind of plateaued. I feel like I've just plateaued. Like, yes, I have all of my needs. My basic needs are met. I never have to really worry about food. I never really have to worry about housing or lights or, any of those basic things that I was struggling to have met at a certain point. And now that I feel called to more, you know, not more for more's sake, not I want a bigger house because I just want a bigger house, but or I want more land because I just want more land, but because I feel called to it. I'm struggling a little with that, like, well, the worthiness piece, which we talked a lot about and we will talk a lot more about, but also like, where's the overlap between, I know I need material resources, I need finances in order to do the work that spirit has called me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like that feeling of, do I deserve it? Do I deserve to have a bigger house? Why can't I just be happy where I'm at? This is a beautiful place. This is one, like, I could make the most out of this. Right. I mean, there's practical reasons why that doesn't work. There's way too many of us in this house. Right? I can't farm necessarily in town, and there's things. Yes, there's practical reasons for it, and I'm really glad that we're talking about this month because we just closed on a new house for the new land, and it's stretching me. Thank
I hear
you.
you.
It is stretching me spiritually to trust. So, there's a lot that I think needs to be unpacked, and I'm just looking forward to just having the conversations. I don't really have anything profound.
No, that was very profound. Just talking about where you were to where you are and to where you like to be. So you have, people use the word manifested a lot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You have attracted, you have aligned yourself with that which you told spirit you needed to feel safe, to feel secure, right? Your root chakra, it got a chance to stabilize itself for a while,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And as we are humans, we are seeking, of course, you want to grow, you want to expand. That's only right. You know what I mean? It's perfect to look back and have gratitude for, how far we've come. I've thought about that myself today. Like, okay, I've
Mhm.
come so far. And I know sometimes I can beat myself up for not being further along, further and more in alignment with the things that I know that I want, but it's like, but you're not where you were. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have given yourself I want to say you've released that which was not giving you security, and I'm speaking to myself too. I released that which was not giving me security, what I thought was going to give me security, that which did not. It left me, shaken and broken in different ways. And I have attracted a level of security within myself, you know what I mean? And I just love how a lot of times we're in the same place, like on a lot of different subjects, but then a lot of times we're in like different places as well. And
Mhm.
so that allows us to bring different perspectives, because I'm okay with where I live, and you know what I mean? I'm able to pay my bills and stuff, but it's definitely not what I want. You know what I mean? It's not something I can call my own, which is
Right.
my desire. So there's just a lot to unpack this month, and I'm really excited to really dive into this subject. It's actually the perfect subject for the month of May. It's Taurus season.
Mhm.
Taurus is the earth sign. It's second house, all about values, all about stability, a lot of root chakra work. You know what I mean? So I think this is going to be a powerful month, like you said, and we're going to do a lot of healing and a lot of growing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So as always, we like to set our intentions and affirmations for the month. And so, Umi, would you like to go first? You
Sure.
can do one, both, whatever you want to do.
I'll do the intention first, and then yeah. Okay, so my intention for this month, I had to put a little thought into this. But I really like what I came up with, and it's I intend to release scarcity consciousness and embrace the abundance that already exists in my life. Yeah. I intend to release scarcity consciousness and embrace the abundance that already exists in my life. And I think that even though I'm not in a state of scarcity anymore, that scarcity consciousness still plays a role in my life. I'm still, when I go to the store, scared to buy certain things, scared to spend too much money. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to make sure I have, and so I really want to, my intention this month is to kind of not necessarily spend recklessly, you know what I mean, but to be released from that fear of, well, I want this, and maybe I shouldn't have it because maybe it's, you know what I mean, like, even if that thing is that I want is for me, okay, you guys know I'm a plant person. It's more plants or dirt. or
Yeah.
fertilizer. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't get 2 bags. Maybe I should get one when I know I really need to. You know what I mean? That's where scarcity consciousness is for me. And so I really intend to just let that go and embrace all this abundance.
I love that. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And I see that, you know what I mean? I have a similar thing going on as well, like this scarcity consciousness as well. And I had a revelation today about where some of that comes from. You know what I mean? Of course, from my parents,
Mhm.
that raised me. My aunt and uncle, God rest their souls. I love them to pieces. And, they say, people will do the best that they can with what they have and, so on and so forth. And ultimately, I do believe that to be true in certain, in certain ways. But my upbringing definitely brought a level of scarcity consciousness to me. And I have really been thinking about something similar along to your intention. And I decided to uh, just word mine just a little bit different. And I said, my intention is to align with my inner abundance. You
Mm.
know, I am very resourceful. You know what I mean? I know how to make things happen. I know how to, take something and make it into something more. I have a lot of fixed sign energy. Taurus is, which is the theme, I'm sorry, the sign this month, as we stated earlier, was in my seventh house. Direct relation to Taurus energy.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I feel like a lot of times I don't align with my inner abundance. I cut it off. You know what I mean? I have like I said, similar to you, that scarcity consciousness where, oh, I shouldn't do this because of that. And a lot of it is around not necessarily finances. I have a scarcity consciousness around love and acceptance. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yes.
Around people embracing me. That's where my scarcity consciousness comes in. That seventh house. We'll talk a little bit later about Chiron moving into Taurus and how all of that is, affecting us. And
Yes.
we're definitely gonna go there this month. And so yeah, I intend to align with my inner abundance. And really, I've been doing some meditation with my eyes closed and just really feeling within myself and trying to release some of the things that I've seen and heard that don't align with
Mm.
who I truly am.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So next is our affirmation. Would you like to go?
Yes. My affirmation is I easily create sustainable, lasting wealth and security in my life. I easily create sustainable, lasting wealth and security in my life. And this resonated for me because, it's one thing to manifest what you need in a moment, right? It's another thing to manifest a lifetime of that. To not literally not have to worry anymore about your financial security, and which your financial security is directly tied to your physical, mental, your well-being, because you need things, and that's just the way this world is set up, that we need things, we need shelter, we need food, we need, all of that. So I want to be able to create this sustainable, security and wealth. And I say wealth because, like I said, spirit's calling me to more, to do more, to see more, to be more. And all of that takes resources.
It does. It
Yeah.
really does. Um, it's so funny because I was thinking to myself earlier that something that someone had said to me one time. They were like, I always get what I want. And I'm not really that quick-witted sometimes. Sometimes I need a minute to like think about it and like mull things over. And I thought about what this person said and what I knew about this person. And I said, yeah, you always get what you want, but can you keep it? You know what I mean? Like, can you keep it? Like, it's like, You know what I mean? And then of course I had to look. I'm looking in the mirror. Okay, look. I can't just look at that. And then I started thinking about that in relationship to myself. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I can get opportunities. I can, I can touch on certain things, and you know what I mean. I get a glimpse of this, a glimpse of that. But can
Mm-hmm.
I keep it? And then the things that I do keep, are they really I'm going to say, are they enough to feed me? Are they deep enough to give me what it is that I desire, the nourishment that I need? You know what I mean? Because what I need is a little deeper. I'm not a very surface level type of person, and so my affirmation for the month is I am aligned with my inner resourcefulness. Again, it's similar to my intention. Is just to be in line aligned with my inner resourcefulness and know that if there's, maybe it's not here for me or it's not there, but what I need is within me, and I can attract it, and I can be aligned to it, and I can sustain it as well. So I'm really grateful this month that we are diving into this again. Thank you all for joining us. This is Earth School Journey. I'm your peer guide, Uni. This is my fellow peer guide and co-host, Umi Steph. And this month we're talking about material security and spirituality. Very much an exploratory conversation around how we have changed our lives, and where we were versus where we are now, where it comes with regard to material security and spirituality. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know, I kind of feel like we touched on it a little bit. Do you want to go into a present check-in on this, or what do you think?
I think we did kind of touch on it. As far as presence, I've been present with the idea of lack. I don't know how present I've been with the spiritual side of it.
Yeah, I hear
You
you.
know, I mean, we did talk a little bit about that. And I do lean in to the spiritual, aspect of things, and I do the oath of manifestation on a regular basis. So that kind of keeps me in the mind of remembering my abundance and my, abundant nature, and that God is my source and supply. So I guess to some degree, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think for me, as we've been doing like our research, and really as I've been really mulling over, what this really means to me, it's definitely something that I feel like I'm being made more aware of. I'm becoming more present with it, with this concept of knowing that I deserve more, you know. Um, not I don't want to talk too much about my personal life, but I was, kind of working a temp job, and at one point I was just saying to myself, like, I need more. You know what I mean? And I deserve more. And if I'm going to be, going to this place every day, like I should have full benefits and full, you know what I mean? Like I definitely am. I feel like I've been having different themes in my life of um just realizing that I deserve more, I need more, and I'm always willing to give more, but am I willing to receive more? And like, what is that really about? You know what I mean? And just thinking about some like examples of people who I feel kind of embody this material security and spirituality. You just never see them in a you just never see them in a place of lack, whereas whether they have it or not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know their personal lives, I don't know some of these people. Unfortunately, I can't really say I've seen it in my personal life much. Like, I don't really have like any examples that I feel that I can look up to. Because even like some of my teachers, I mean, I've had some teachers who I've studied under who have definitely manifested great things and, done a lot. Um, but I don't know. Like there's always something. I think the world that we live in, it kind of blocks us from having that true material security. Like it's
Mm,
always a hustle. You know what I mean? Like I feel like even I mean, I like I said, I studied under some really, really, really good people who have manifested some great things, but I don't know. Like I can still see like the struggle. You know what I mean? And so I mean, I guess I have something to look up to, but the Aquarius moon in me wants to just like transcend all this shit. Fuck all. Excuse my language, like. Look, y'all, let me not go there. Okay. I feel like I just feel like we deserve so much more. Like, why do
yeah.
we have to struggle? I don't know. I digress. All right. So y'all see where I'm at with the presence check-in. Like I'm ready to overthrow the system and start all over because we
Yeah.
deserve more. I truly believe that. I truly
Yeah.
believe that. I believe that we should be living in good on good land, fertile land, eating good, healthy, nutritious food, um, relaxing, being abundant, feeling loved, like all of this stressing and working and hustle and bustle and all this stuff later for all of that. So anyway, um, next we can just share a few journal prompts about material security and spirituality. Um, the first one is what did I learn growing up about what makes a person valuable?
Mm,
And I definitely chose this one. I think I picked this one out because um, of what I learned. And it's definitely something, when you realize that you were basically taught that being useful is what makes a person valuable. And, you get to a point in your life where you're like, if like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with, being useful, but being used is a whole nother story. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Being exploited, being taken
Hmm.
advantage of, like there's a line there,
Right.
and when you are taught one side versus the other, versus, the other, the healthy way or the balanced way.
Hmm.
So yeah, I thought this was a very good journal prompt to share. And I'm going to be journaling about this myself. I, just shared an example of one of the things I was taught. I mean, it's a lot. I was taught a lot about what makes a person
Yeah.
valuable. I have definitely had to transcend that in a lot of ways.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think that is a great question. It really gets to like the root of where the first, the first, I don't want to call it break, but kind of break from, the spiritual abundance that we're born with
Yeah.
happens. It happens in our childhood where we learn something from someone, from somewhere, some way, that takes us off of that track. All right, so let's get into the next one. The next question, it's kind of building on that last one. How has my relationship with money and stability shaped my sense of self? And it's really like the next level of that, right? You've learned whatever it is about what you learned that makes a person valuable, or whatever you learned about money as a child, and then you grow into a person whose sense of self is shaped around that. For me, I grew up extremely, extremely poor. Extremely poor. I mean, like scraping for food, and food security was big. And so as an adult, that really shaped how I go about life. Like, food is big for me. I always want to make sure I have food. I always want to make sure that there's food on the table, that there's hot food cooked, you know what I mean? Um, and I think that's one reason why I like to garden, is because I love the abundance that comes from the garden, the abundance of healthy, nourishing food. And so, yeah, I love this question. And I think that each of us should really take that into meditation, and really pay attention to how it's shaped your sense of self. I mean, I think loving the garden is a good thing, but there can be, a sense of scarcity in, you don't want to, I don't want to be a prepper. I don't want to be that, far gone where I have to have so much stockpiled and all. I do want to have a nice pantry, but I don't want to be, you know, afraid to not have. Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. And the next journal prompt we have for this month on material security and spirituality is: what does my current financial reality reflect about my beliefs around safety and worth?
Mm.
That was a mouthful.
Yes.
What does my current financial reality reflect about my beliefs about safety and worth?
Mm.
It's very interesting because as I sat with that, you know um looking at my financial reality, and looking at my beliefs, it's just been a very interesting um place to be. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I don't want to share too much on this one, but yeah, it's definitely something to really sit with. You know, it's definitely something to really sit with, and we hope that you all, our classmates, will take the time to journal, and just really consider some of these questions, because a lot of us we're all here, right? We're all here at this time dealing with this climate and the things that are going on in the world. And I truly believe that the more of us who are conscious and aligned with our own inner abundance and our own inner resourcefulness, the more that we will start to change what we see out in the world. It starts within us first. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really hope that we all take the time to sit with these questions. Would you like to read the last one?
Sure. What would it look like to use my energy for something bigger than my own security? I love this question. I love this question because well, for one, it's really kind of where I'm at, right, in my life. Like, I have a baseline of security. I do have a baseline of security. And I want to do something bigger. I want to do something else. I don't want to work just to survive. I don't want to work just to support, other people. I want to bring some real light to the world. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to bring some light to the world. And I have, so many ways that I feel like Spirit has put that on my heart. So many different ways, from, all of them involve nature in some way, shape, or form. Right. But all of those things require resources. And I want to use my energy not just to, make enough money to live. I want to use my energy, because energy is our biggest resource, right? That is the resource that is energy and time. Like, those are the ones that are way more important than finances, in a sense, because you can't have either. You can't have finances without energy or time.
Right.
You know what I mean? But to be able to use my energy to create something that will touch the world on a larger scale. I'm gonna sit with this question quite a bit. So, because I really would like to explore that, and I really think every one of our classmates, you guys should really sit down with this question. I'm gonna read it one more time. What would it look like to use my energy for something bigger than my own security? Yeah, it's a great question.
It is. It's a really good question. Oh, all right. And so thank you all for sticking in with us. This is the part of Homeroom Check In where we like to talk about the transits of the month. Again, we are already on the 6th, this week. I'm sorry, this month. Um, and we're 6 days in already. So we've already had some very important transits this month.
Yeah, a few.
A few, right? A
Yeah, yeah.
few. We started off this month with a full moon in Scorpio. The moon was squaring Pluto. And I feel like a lot of people were definitely in the circles that I've been in and the ways I've been the things I've been viewing on social media. People were definitely talking about releasing things and getting doing shadow work and just getting like inner clarity within themselves. And I know for me, I was telling you, I mean, I was like, I feel like it was like kind of uneventful for me, like kind of sorta, you know what I mean? Like I could definitely see like some people around me kind of like they looked like they were crashing out a little bit, but I was chilling. Like I was just like, okay, like you are right over there. Like, you know what I mean? I was just chilling.
Hmm.
And then you reminded me that because I'm thinking like, okay, oh, my chart is very Scorpio heavy, so it's like business as usual for me. But you did remind me about being in a eighth house perfection year and how it's probably just happening on a deeper level, you know what I mean? Not even um to my like conscious awareness, and that's kind of
Hmm.
what I feel like. I definitely feel that because some of the revelations that I've been having since then have been really profound, you know what I mean?
Right.
Um so yeah, what do you want to talk about next as far as the transits of the month? I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I mean, we've already gone through. So we've had the full moon in Scorpio on the first. Mercury is in Taurus now, um, which is an interesting one because Taurus rules the throat chakra and Mercury is about communication. So there's definitely some shifts that are happening there. We already had Mars square Jupiter, and Pluto today went retrograde in Aquarius. So that is going to be interesting because Pluto, I mean, it's an outer planet and it's in a sign that's about, you know, the the people at large, right? So, um I feel like that's one to keep your eye to the politics, right? See what's happening out in the world. And hopefully it'll bring some needed change. I'll just say that. I don't want to get into details.
I hear you.
But then we have on May 16th the new moon in Taurus, and that I think um will bring some of what we're talking about this month. Give us a chance to really reflect on our spirituality and our material security. Taurus is all about material security. Taurus likes to be comfortable. That's second house energy right there. It's you know what I mean? Um and so I'm looking forward to this new moon as an opportunity to set some deeper intentions around material security. And I think, having that full moon in Scorpio was really centered for me around financial security. That's what was coming up for me during that Scorpio. And Scorpio is also about material resources. It's also about, but it's about shared resources, not
Mm.
necessarily personal resources. But um, so the new moon on the 16th, I think, is a great opportunity for us to kind of really. evaluate, what our intentions are, where we're trying to go, to tap in with that spiritual energy, with that spiritual connection around our finances. Um, so yeah, that's the next kind of big one that we have coming up. Um, and then we have Mars going into Taurus, which hopefully puts a little like a little movement behind those finances. That's what I'm thinking. That's what comes to me is that, Taurus is such a slow energy.
But they finish what they start, though. That's what I love about Taurus. They're very persistent. Like, they're going to see it
Yeah,
through. You know what
true.
I mean? They might take a while. You might be like, well, damn. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, where you at? But
Right.
Taurus is like the turtle. Like, they're like, you
Slow and steady wins the race.
like here I am hopping around like a rabbit or a chicken with my head. I'm over here. I'm over here. I think I'm doing everything. And here come the Taurus. You'd be like, and they done finished. They done got the job done. That's what I love about Taurus. So I think,
Yes.
for me, it's gonna definitely be around like getting the job done. Like I have way too many things that I leave unfinished. I'm
Mm,
ashamed. I'm so ashamed. But it's true, it's true with that, especially, with my Chiron being in Taurus, literally on my descendant, conjunct my descendant, you know what I mean? So it's
mm-hmm.
very it's very challenging for me. And I've been again just getting revelations around that. And so I'll definitely be setting my intentions around uh
Yeah.
Taurus related themes.
Yeah. I think this month is going to be a real kind of like precursor for all of us Chiron and Taurus babies, because all of us are coming up on this Chiron return in the next, what, 2 to 5 years, 6 years or so. It's coming up. So this is really, I have Chiron in Taurus in the ninth. I mean, I'm sorry, not in the ninth, in the eighth. And so this Mars energy, coming in to do some cleaning of house, to move some things out the way that maybe I haven't been ready to move in those Taurus related things. I'm looking forward to it, and as like I said, I feel like it's more of a precursor because I'm about to go through this Chiron return. All of us, Chiron and Taurus people, we're about to go through. Yes, yes. The reality is that we are almost 50. I've got about 5 more years to go, but still, that Chiron and Taurus, that return is coming. So I feel like this month is a really good month to start really getting a hold of what it is that you need to work on. Where's those wounds? What's happening? You know, we're going to talk a lot about Chiron and Taurus this month because we are the generation of scarcity and lack and fear of, not having material security. So we definitely look forward to talking about that quite a bit. What do we have next? Venus going into Cancer. That's my Venus placement.
Me
Venus in
too.
Cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's gonna be kind of a lovey dovey. that's how
Hopefully, look
that's
for
what I think of.
you. Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. When I think of Venus and Cancer, I think of it being kind of like romantic and cuddly. And it can be a little clingy. I feel like can be a clingy time. So I guess that's something to look out for. Where am I being a little too clingy?
I'm thinking about my weighted blanket over there and my, my teddy
Yeah.
bear. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be.
What are you
That's
attracting? What are you bringing in? Because that's Venus. Venus is what do you attract? Venus is
yeah,
your values. I mean, and obviously you attract what you value, right? So it's an opportunity to really examine what around those Cancer themes are you valuing that what's coming in? What are you seeing? What do you need to look at?
yeah.
That clinginess is stinging for me right now.
Oh, Yeah, with you know, Venus rules Taurus. So us being in the month of Taurus and um, Venus going into Cancer. I definitely and I find Taurus people to be very clingy too. You know what I mean? Very, very devoted, very dedicated, you know what I mean? Very clingy type of people. So yeah, you're right. This may be a clingy month with Mars going into Taurus and then Venus going into
Hmm.
Cancer. It's definitely going to be a time to assess like what it is that we're clinging to and make sure that it's in alignment with what we truly desire. You know what I mean? For the long term, I think. Um, so yeah, that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might be a very lovey-dovey month. Even if you're loving on yourself, and that's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I mean,
fine.
I'm already a Cancer, so I tend to be clingy. It's just, I can be clingy, but I can also be leave me alone.
Yeah, well, Cancer has that shell, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
March and the claws,
Get
creamer.
away from me.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, don't go over there. So,
Sidestepping people.
yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so on May 19th, we have Mars squaring Pluto, which is so those are some, Mars is a powerhouse and Pluto is a powerhouse as well, So I think it's gonna be some serious energy. Mars is gonna be in Taurus, of course, and then Pluto's in Aquarius retrograde.
Mhm.
So it's definitely I can see some sort of transformation around our again the collective and what it is that we are pushing towards. You know what I mean? Like what is it that we are going towards and are we really in alignment with that? I think it's time for people to really deal with reality. I've
Mhm.
been thinking a lot about just mindsets and how people be like in different places in their mind. Like you just never know. Like the mindsets of people and where they are. You know what I mean? What frequency, what level, what world they live in. And I feel like so many things are threatening our safety in this world that like at some point like we got to stop being
Mhm.
pretending. Some of us have to stop pretending to be blind to the harm that we're causing ourselves. You know what I mean? I feel like
Right.
a lot of people are cutting off their noses to spite their face. And I think that when the reality really hits of how some of these things that are going on in the world are, really affecting all of us and or the majority of us, I
Mhm.
think reality is gonna it's gonna cause some much needed change. That's what I hope anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is an interesting transit because Mars and Pluto are both they co-rule Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And Scorpio is all about deep transformation. And so this tension between these two planets has the potential to really bring about change and transformation around, well, Mars being, aggression and motivation and being in Taurus, that is the security, the sign of material security that is really interested in being comfortable. Right. And so I feel like it's a really good opportunity for us to examine some of these things and also just to watch it play out, on a grander scale, because again, Pluto is one of those generational planets. It stays in a sign for a really long time. So it affects us all. But to see, you know, not only how this plays out in our own lives, in our personal lives, but also how it plays out on the grand scale of, community and globally and, um, that need for safety and care and well-being that Taurus brings. And then, with Aquarius being the sign of like humanitarianism. We'll see how this plays out on a grander scale. But I think this is one I'm going to be looking out for. I think doing some of the journal prompts around that time will be interesting, just because the energy will be right in line with with some of these questions, especially the ones around like our beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah, our inner beliefs for
Mhm.
sure. Not the ones that we project out into the world, or the ones that we align with in order to pretend that we're in community with people that we aren't really aligned with. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like your
Right.
really true inner beliefs, not your parents' beliefs or the people who raised you, your family, your beliefs. I
Right.
think that's what it's. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be hitting on. And then um, on the 20th of this month, we have the sun entering Gemini. Lord help us all. You know, I love I love Geminis. I'm not gonna lie. I do. And I love Gemini season. I really do. I love Gemini season is definitely one of my favorites, if not the like, I mean, Leo season, of course, is my favorite, but Gemini is like a very close second. Like I love Gemini season. So I feel like Gemini is it's like a lot always going on. There's like, a lot of, you're just connecting with people. Like I feel like Taurus season, okay, yes, it's springtime. The weather's starting to get nicer, whatever. Okay, but we're back and forth. It's whatever. But when Gemini season, I feel like the sun is brighter. I don't know. I
Yep.
just love Gemini season.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the end of this month and hopefully making some connections. I was looking at my cardology the other day, and I have like two of spades, which is like the Aquarius. It's like Uranus. It's like the Aquarian card, and it's the card of friendship. And then and so I have that for this for Gemini season, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm really looking forward to connecting with people, and just really getting in community. I've joined a community garden recently, got a raised bed that I've started planting some vegetables in, and I don't know. I feel like Gemini season things are going to be sprouting and we're going to be in the garden. And I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a real good season.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I love Gemini season. I know everybody has, I don't know. I think I used to have that same like, oh, Geminis. Oh, Gemini. But now I've got this new appreciation for it. Um, and definitely love this time of year. I love summer, don't get me wrong, but like the end of spring before summer hits, it's
Yeah.
just a magical, magical time, particularly in the garden. I noticed this morning that the sun was up before 6 o'clock, and I was just
It's
like,
been
ah,
up. Yeah. It's been getting up.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. I love this time of year. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I feel like there's so much energy, and Gemini is a fast moving energy. You
Yeah.
know, I also Mercury is my chart ruler, so I connect with that
Mm-hmm.
Mercury energy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also a Gemini in like Vedic, so because I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
cusp of Cancer, so I love this time of year. This is, I'm looking forward to kind of being more social and which I tend to do in the summer. In the wintertime, I don't want to be bothered with anybody.
Yeah. Same. I'm like a whole new person in the winter. I tell people like
I don't
the
even know
person,
me.
yeah, right. The person you met in the summer, when by the time October comes, you're gonna be like, who is this
Who is
person?
this? Yeah, I am not the same person in the wintertime that I am
I'm
in the
not
summer.
either.
I am not. I can be so social and everything. Also, because we're outdoors. I don't like being around people indoors.
Yeah, same.
It
Same.
doesn't. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too much. The rebounding of the energy is too much for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then we also have at the end of the month a blue moon, a full moon in Sag. So that's gonna be another one. I think I might be doing another um bonfire. I'm trying to make this my ritual to
And
do
you
bonfires.
should. I love that. I love that for you. I love
Yeah.
that for your family. Thank you for inviting me virtually
Yes.
to join in. I've been over the past couple of years, it's like I've been trying to get to a bonfire. I got to one in Atlantic City one time. I think when I was like dropping my daughter off to school or something. So I got to one. I forget, it was a couple years ago, but since then I've been like, oh, I want to go to a bonfire. You know what I mean? Like I have
Yeah.
like my little cauldron and I'm burning stuff. I'm constantly burning sage and tar, whatever. You know what I mean? I have tons of incense. I'm always burning stuff, but I haven't been to a bonfire in a while, and I want to make that a part of my, monthly ritual as much as I can too. This full moon in Sagittarius, it's perfect. It's perfect
Hmm.
for a bonfire. I mean, you're talking fire upon fire. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like burning clean everything that is not in alignment. Sag is about higher education, breaking through ceilings and going further and farther and faster. And I absolutely love Sagittarius energy when it comes to that. And it's a very lucky sign ruled by Jupiter. So I'm
Hmm. Hmm.
definitely looking forward to that, burning away any blockages to prosperity and abundance and all that good stuff. So yeah, shout out to you and your family and bonfires.
Yeah, it's been fun trying to, create this new ritual with the family of doing this. And I'm so glad you were able to join us, even if it was via the phone.
Yeah, it's listen, I have done so many things virtually. Like I've a lot of my classes were virtual and I had a teacher who would she would just bring us in, to her
Yeah.
process, her intention setting, her new moon, her full moon rituals, all of those things. So I'm a firm believer that it's just as, it's all about energy, you know what I mean? And so I was really grateful to be able to share with you and your family and burn my little, my paper, in my
Yeah.
little cauldron while y'all were throwing, even the kids were there throwing in
Yeah.
their papers. It was beautiful to witness. Absolutely beautiful.
Scorpio boys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think that's all of the transits we have. That takes us all the way to the 31st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we are at the end of the hour.
We are. I want to thank everyone for joining us. This month we are going to be exploring what it means to be rooted and resourced. We'll be back next Wednesday, May 13th, same time, same place. On May 20th, we'll go even deeper, maybe deeper into that Chiron and Taurus energy. We're just going to kind of flow with it this month and see where the conversation takes us. We're really keeping it a little loose this month because we feel like this is more of an exploratory. This
Yeah.
is more of an opportunity for us to really dig deep within ourselves and explore where we are, so that we can really get in alignment with where we need to be, for lack of a better term.
Right.
And then on the 27th, we'll have a study hall where we will share some of the tips and, practical things that we've done throughout the month that has helped us to align with our marriage, material security and spirituality. You have anything else before we close out?
No, just thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our classmates for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace. See you next
Peace.
week.